Okay, good afternoon. My name's Assistant Commissioner Ian Parrott. I'm in charge of the State Operations Service within South Australia Police. That also means that I have responsibility for road safety across our state. The reason that I'm here today is to reinforce the message for everybody in relation to road safety and to curb the number of lives lost on South Australian roads. Year to date, we've lost 47 lives on South Australian roads in comparison to 46 last year. In the last week in particular has been a horror week with 6 lives lost in a variety of circumstances. All of this at a time when the number of cars on our roads are lower than they have been in a number of years, but still we are seeing people taking unnecessary risks, engaging in absolutely stupid driving behaviour, which is affecting not only the lives of those who are lost on our roads, but their families, and in addition to that are causing or leading to a number of serious injury crashes, which in a number of cases are leaving whole families traumatised by lifelong injuries which affect people immeasurably in some circumstances and as I said, last a lifetime. In particular, this last week with 6 fatalities on our roads, we've seen motorcyclists killed, we've seen pedestrians killed, we've seen people on our regional roads killed. So it is not just one thing that is causing people to lose lives on our roads at this stage. It is a number of concerns that we have that perhaps people are not paying as much attention to what they should be doing when they get behind the wheel of a car, when they climb onto a motorbike, or whether it be a truck or even a bicycle. Can I please implore you, when you get in a car or on a motorbike or in any other vehicle, just drive. It is a complicated enough task as it is, without adding drugs or drink driving, without being distracted for various reasons. So please, just drive. In particular, in this last week, in recent weeks, we ran a specific operation focusing on distraction. Over 300 people on our roads in 1 week were detected being distracted in some way, shape, form or another. We often think about people using their mobile phones whilst driving, and whilst this is a major concern of ours, it is not just mobile phones that causes people to be distracted. Only last week, a 39-year-old female was detected driving down Lower North East Road at Campbelltown, reading a book which she was resting on her steering wheel whilst she was driving. That is just ridiculous behaviour and places not only that person at risk, but everybody else at risk on our roads. When it comes to drink and drug driving, yesterday we ran a specific drink drug driving operation focusing on schools during pick-up time and drop-off time. In 1 day, during the small window of drop-off time and pick-up time, 3 people were detected with alcohol in their system, drink driving. 11 people were detected with meth or other drugs in their system whilst in a school area. Most of these people didn't have children in their car at the time, but 5 of the 14 who were detected either drink or drug driving had children in the car at the time they were affected by alcohol or drugs. That is completely irresponsible. I don't know of anybody who would think that that type of behaviour is responsible from a number of perspectives, let alone just the driving perspective. And speeding again, speeding kills. I don't think anybody would think that doing 209 kilometres an hour in a 110 kilometre zone is reasonable. Add to that drink driving where the person is alleged to have recorded a blood alcohol limit of 0.13, just goes to show the inordinate risks that some people are taking. So if I can just reinforce the message, whilst there are less vehicles on our roads at this time, it's easy to become complacent It's easy to think about answering that text or picking up that phone call or checking something on your social media while you're driving. You might think about taking more risks when you want to drink or drug drive. Let me reassure you that we are out there, we are actively policing, and you will get caught. And if you do get caught, you should be thankful, because hopefully we've stopped you from either killing yourself or somebody else in our roads.
As you mentioned, Assistant Commissioner, there's so many less people on the roads. Is there any understanding, I know it's never one thing, of why this is actually happening, and could it have anything to do with measures like things off the roads that have some decay up or things like that?
Yeah, let's be really clear about random drink and drug testing. We are still out there drink and drug testing, as is evidenced by our road safety operation earlier this week, where, like I said before, 11 people caught drug driving, 3 people caught drink driving, and that's just in school drop-off and pick-up times. So we are out there all the time, and you will be caught any time of day, any location across the state. Our police are out there. If you take those risks, like I said, you'll be lucky if you get caught, because hopefully we've then stopped you from killing yourself or somebody else on the roads.
Can I ask about today's the Wingard crash, Port Arthur crash, so I've got this information. Do you have the condition of 24-year-old driver
So at Port Arthur, just before 5 a.m. This morning, a car was travelling east on the York Highway and collided head-on with a road train travelling west, about 4 kilometres off the Copper Coast roundabout, which is about 17 kilometres north of Port Wayfield. The driver of the car at this stage is still believed to have critical injuries and was believed to be medevaced by helicopter back to Adelaide for treatment. The truck driver was not injured in the crash at this time, and I don't have an update on his conditions.
Is fatigue being investigated this one specifically?
So it's too early to tell in this particular investigation, certainly given the proximity of it to now, but that will be ascertained in the fullness of time.
Can you tell us anything about the Wingard crash? Two others made out that Wingard collided. One person was killed.
Yes, so that's correct. At about 2:45 a.m. This morning, there's a single vehicle rollover on the highway near the junction of Lindsay Point Road at Parrott. One person in the vehicle died at the scene, and 2 other people in the vehicle received minor injuries, but there's no further information I can give you at that stage, as there's still some investigation notifications to be made.
Can you tell us the gender of the
Not at this stage. Yeah, not at this stage. We've still got the inquiries to make and notifications to be made.
Looking at last night's crash at Port Wakefield Highway, that's not a pedestrian-friendly area. Is there any indication that this might be a mental health issue?
So at this stage, again, it's too early to tell what the cause of that loss of life was last night. But you are right, it is unusual for a pedestrian to be in that location at that time, and so we are exploring all avenues at this point.
Are you looking at the distraction numbers? I know the last 12 months the fees, the fines were jacked up a fair bit. Is that having an impact, or is it still carrying on not adhering to the rules?
Look, I think that the concern for me is that the number of people who are detected doing the wrong thing, whether it be speeding, whether it be talking on their phone, not wearing a seatbelt, engaging in risky driving behaviour, continues to be relatively high. We are talking, over 3,300 people a week being detected by police doing the wrong thing in their car, on average. Now, that is a massive number of people who are just the ones who we detect doing the wrong thing. So the concern for us at this point in time in particular, with the lower numbers of cars on the road, in theory it should be a lot safer. It should be a lot easier for people to get around. But complacency can set in when the roads are a little clearer ahead of you. Complacency can set in when you're not time pressured to go to work, or you're not under pressure to get somewhere in a hurry. But for some reason, there seems to be, I guess, a lack of attention to just focusing on driving, and people are allowing themselves to take more risks than what they ordinarily would.
I remember last year it was such a bad road toll year. Are you disappointed how we won so far this year?
I'm extremely disappointed, but imagine how disappointed the families are of the ones whose lives have been lost. The extended families and friends of people who have lost lives of people on the roads, whether it be through a single vehicle crash or through multiple vehicle crashes. No one's a winner out of this situation at the moment. One life lost on our road is one too many. 47 this year, 46 for the same time last year is far too many lives lost on the roads. And it's not just, we're out there doing everything we can to try and prevent people from engaging in risky driving behaviour. We're trying our best to actually prevent lives being lost on our roads. But everybody has a responsibility to do the right thing on our roads. Everybody has a responsibility to just drive.
What about the messaging? Are you satisfied with the current advertising campaign and sending the right message?
So we're always exploring avenues to try and reinforce the message with people, because we find ourselves standing here time and time again, pleading with people to do the right thing on our roads, and to some degree that message doesn't appear to be sinking into a large number of people, too many people. We would love to have, I guess, the silver bullet that would actually ring true with people, that would actually make them realise the dangers that they're causing to themselves and others when they're driving a car. Like I said, it's a complex task driving a car, so please, just drive.
Assistant Commissioner, we touched on the fact that the road toll was awful last year and it's on par and on track again this year. We've spoken about the increase in fines to try and deter people, discuss the messaging as well. Is there a thought that, that you will have to revisit the level of fines that people receive in order to try and further around that message home?
I will hand over to the Minister.
Look, thank you very much for coming along today. Do really appreciate your time. And can I just say that I share the Assistant Commissioner's frustration with what we are experiencing out there on the roads. Crying out loud, people, think about what you're doing. I can't drive this message hard enough. To stand here and have to deliver this message time and time again is infuriating. And I know there are people out there doing the right thing and they deserve to be safe. But if you're thinking about doing something stupid or idiotic, think again, because police will catch you. It's a really clear message that people are out there, police are out there patrolling the streets, and if you're doing the wrong thing, they will come after you. The messaging is out there very clearly. Don't be distracted when you're driving. Don't drink and drive. The fatal 5 are exactly that. They are fatal, and we need people to make sure they are doing the right thing. So we ask again that you think. Think when you get behind the wheel. You have your hands on the wheel of a very, very lethal weapon, and you must make sure you're doing the right thing to protect yourself, protect your family, and protect those in the community. So again, I ask people behind the wheel to think when they get in the driver's seat.
Is that one of the hardest things about this, is that it's often innocent people who are victims of these stupid mistakes from somebody?
Yeah. That's what's incredibly shattering, is the fact that often there are innocent people involved. And that's why, again, we ask everyone within our road network, whatever you're doing, think about what you're doing. You're responsible for your own self, your own person, but other people on the road as well. We're going through an incredibly tough time here as we deal with the COVID-19 situation in our state and across our country. But we ask people to look out for one another. Look out for in the COVID situation, but look out for one another when we're on the roads. We should always be thinking of one another and doing everything we can to protect our fellow South Australians.
Just one example question.
Yes.
Assistant Commissioner, is the government considering increasing the fines for these driving behaviours?
Look, I'll take advice from police at every turn as far as doing whatever we can to make sure there are less lives lost on our road. We can't accept one life lost on our road, and I'll take advice on what they suggest are things we can do to bring that down. If it means putting up fines, again, that will be considered. If it means other operational matters or other things that we can do to help reduce the number of lives lost on our road, then they will all be considered. But again, police have the operations in place. We're investing billions of dollars in making our roads safer. The campaigns are all out there making it really clear, especially around the fatal 5 and distraction, a number of campaigns around distraction, because that's something we're seeing at the moment that is higher than it should be.
Are you satisfied with the campaigns? That the message is getting across and working?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to keep driving messages at every turn. Police have got their role to play out on the front line and out on the beat, and they do that incredibly well. Likewise with the advertising campaigns, be it TV, social media, we want to make sure the message is out there. And again, investing in making sure our roads are as safe as possible is really important. So we're doing all that. But what we're asking people to do when they get behind the wheel is to think what's in their hand. They're holding a lethal weapon. Not only one that can damage themselves, but other South Australians as well.
I think everyone thought that under this current situation we're in, the road toll would actually be lower than that. Are you disappointed that during COVID-19 we're still seeing high level of deaths and mortals?
Look, it just amazes me that the amount of traffic on our roads has gone down, yet we are still seeing lives lost at far too regular occurrence. It leaves me flabbergasted. I know it leaves the Assistant Commissioner flabbergasted. People have got to think about what they're doing. It goes back to the people that have got the steering wheel in their hands. They are the ones that are holding the power. They are the ones holding a lethal weapon. Whilst we have less cars on the road at the minute, clearly people are not paying attention. They're not thinking about what they're doing. And I implore everyone out there to pull their heads in when they're behind the wheel and think about themselves and others. Thank you.